Hello, hello, hello. Mic check, mic check. Give me some comments in the room, people. Let me know if y'all hear me loud and clear. Say yes, yes. No, no. Maybe so, so. I don't know which one you're going to say. But I can't move forward until I know the people hear me in the room. And while I do that, we're going to go ahead and start to do some maintenance. How's everybody doing this fine evening? Because we got a show. We have a show. Put a yes in the comment section if you hear me loud and clear. Hello. Oh, hi, beautiful. Hi, Maisha. How you doing? You back with me? Honey, listen, you gave me life when you came in the last time. Hi, Lynn is in. Lynn is in the room. Thank you so much. You back again. Thank you so much. Listen, we got a show for y'all today. I'm not going to even lie. This is one topic that needs to be discussed, okay? And you can find me at all of these little handy dandy places, okay? All of these little handy dandy places. Yes, you can find me at any given time. I got some people looking to come into the room. Let's see what's going on here. You see, you can find me at CoachIvyRevine.com. You can find me, you can send me a message at CoachIvyRevine.com if you need to. You can also find me at Coach Ivy Revine at YouTube. You can find me at Ivy Revine and Twitter. You can find me at Ivy Revine on Facebook. Let me tell y'all something. There is no way you could tell me you can't find me, okay? You cannot tell me you cannot find me. That would be I would be disheartened, okay, if you come along and tell me that you cannot find me. So, we have us a show today, okay? Hold on one second. Let me pull a couple of people into the room really quick because we having a moment right now. We are having a moment, but that's okay because listen, that's how things work here. And what we're going to discuss today is we are going to discuss a very crazy topic, and that topic is love bombing. We're going to discuss love bombing. Now, the reason why we're going to discuss love bombing is because this is a topic that really needs to be discussed, right? It's a topic that really, really needs to be discussed. And the reason why I say that is because for a long time, right, when I've been coaching my clients, there was a disconnect. There was a total disconnect. There you go, Maria. Listen now, girl, I'm going to get you. You hear? Now we discussing something. We're discussing love bombing. Why are we discussing love bombing? Because I have noticed that in my career doing coaching for codependency recovery, there's been a disconnect. Women would say that I remember when it first started, and they would give me these beautiful stories, right? Of a knight in shining armor coming into their life, sweeping them off their feet, romancing them, dinners in the park, movies, outings, trips, extravagant trips, and all this other stuff, right? This beautiful man out of the blue. And even some men, hi, Roberta, how you doing? Glad to have you. And you would have some men would even talk about these beautiful women just coming into their life, extravagant, beautiful, just exude sex and class and beauty, right? And she comes in with all of these wonderful dreams about the future, right? And I'm listening to these people talk about the beginning stages of this love affair, this fantastic, dreamy, or you could write it in a book, love affair. And I would always ask them, wasn't that a problem? Wasn't that a red flag for you? No, not at all. Of course, they feel like they deserve it. Of course, they felt like for once in my life, right? I had somebody, I know, right? Yes, I had somebody who came into my life and treated me like I felt like I needed to be treated my whole entire life. Yes, of course, I thought it was a dream. I thought it was something straight out of a love novel, but there she was, right there, loving me, taking care of me, telling me we're going to have a beautiful, long future together. Now, how does that look? The love bombing. The love bombing is a narcissist's biggest weapon. It's a narcissist's biggest weapon. Unfortunately, if you're a codependent, it's your biggest weakness. It's your biggest weakness. And that's our topic for today. So when a love bombing starts, let me tell y'all something, people. This is my topic. So because of that, I got me a sip of wine. Excuse me. I lit an incense for the gods, depending on which one you believe in. Because I'm going to get in. I'm getting all the way into this love bombing tactic because people need to understand it deeply and how it works in the psyche and the mind of people. They have to. Yum. Thank you. Yes, it is. Very yum. I won't act like a lush today. Just a few sips at a time. Love bombing is their beginning stages, right? A person come into your life and they come in like a freight train. Boom. 1 minute you're single, ready to mingle, free, living your life. You have all these wonderful things going for you, school, work, feeling yourself, right? The best way to your life, your hair done, slave to the gods, everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. And then somebody comes in, boom, there he is. Well kept, looking great, talking well, saying all the right things. Out of the blue, he's just right there. You're like, wow. Hi. Hello. And he comes in showing this really intense passion. He want to get to know you right away. He want to look into your eyes. He wants you to observe him as he talk, as he speak, right? He asks you very powerful questions about your family, where you grew up, right? All of that good stuff. And you're like, wow, somebody paying attention to me. Somebody likes me. Somebody's interested in me. This is powerful, right? So they come in and they show all of this attention. They call you every single day. Good morning, beautiful. How are you doing? Good morning, beautiful. How are you doing? How are you feeling today? How's work going? What's going on at work? Tell me, what do you do? What do you do? How are you feeling at work? What are your coworkers like? What is your family like? What do you do during the day? Where do you go after work? All of these things, all of this information, the fishing, taking it all in. He want to know your aspirations. What do you plan on doing? Do you want more kids? Do you want a family? What do you want? And what do we do? We tell them, yeah, I want a couple of kids. I want a house on a hill with a white picket fence, a couple of dogs. That's what I want. And then peep game. The mirror is, so do I. Me too. That's what I want. I don't remember being love bombed. He was controlling at the beginning, beat the hell out of me twice in 2 weeks in our first meeting, when I first met, maybe then love bomb. Okay. We're going to talk about Maria because some narcissists, depending on who you are, if they feel that they have to love bomb you, they will. If they feel it's not necessary, especially as codependents, because I'm speaking about this on a spectrum, right? You could be a very regular person and be loved bombed by a narcissist. But if you're codependent, they may not, 9 times out of 10, have to even love bomb you, right? Because they see something in us. It's kind of like they pick something up, like, right? Like, oh, this is going to be an easy catch for me. This is an easy catch for me. She's way more into me. I don't have to put the work in. I don't have to put the work into her, But if you come off the gate like, yes, I got a family structure. I got a lot going for me. I'm going back to school for my 2 degrees. I'm about my life. They'd be like, oh, I got to work this. I got to work this a little bit. But if they come in and you're like, wow, I like him. He's handsome. He's attractive. And he don't have to work for it. Yeah. So that's how they work. That's how they work that. So when they come in with, but they're very passionate nevertheless, right? I'm sure even with him being controlling right away, you found a lot of passion involved in that. You know? Don't let that beat you up, because they learn how to who to get, who not to get. They learn who they have to put a little work in for, who they don't have to put a little work in for. They can kind of size a woman up and say, you know what, I might have to take her out on a few dates because she's a little high maintenance. This one, not so much, you know? Right. So let's talk about what that love bombing is from a visual aspect. Because during that romancing and that love bombing phases, right, there is someone on the other end of that spectrum, someone that you do not know on the other end of that spectrum who is being discarded. I think I might have to repeat that. When a narcissist is loving you right now in the moment, there's somebody on the end of that spectrum who they are discarding. They're love bombing you. They're giving you all the words and the praises and the, you are beautiful, you are great, we are soulmates. And somebody on the other end of that is being discarded. You don't mean nothing to me. They're giving the silent treatment, the cold shoulder, treating horribly every single time. Every single time. It's a mechanism that never, ever, ever stops. They can't help themselves. Right? So, with that being said, what does that whole idolation do? Because that's called idolation. They're idolizing you in that moment. It's a target. You're a target. And that target is to indoctrinate you. It's the beginning. What is indoctrination? I'm going to pull that up. Let's talk about indoctrinating somebody. Let's talk about indoctrinating somebody. Wikipedia states is to teach a person to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. Hold up now. It's to teach a person or group, right, to accept a set of beliefs, their beliefs, uncritically. Because if you have to question them before they really indoctrinate you, they can't teach you nothing. So this is the beginning. They got to love bomb you. They got to get you started. They got to get you right for the picking. Got to tender you up. I hope I'm making sense. You know? I hope I'm making sense because we're just getting started. Thank you, Maria. Mine used to say, I know you. I watch you. Roberta, you talking something. Because even if they don't know you or watch you, they'll tell you that they know you by how your makeup is. They'll say, well, I know who you are as a person because I know how to read people, right? I know how to read people. So I know you already. And this is, come on, like we're like a few months in. What do you mean you know me? He is loved by me throughout different phases. When he was trying to get me back, he is loved by me throughout different phases when he was trying to get me back. Yeah. Because we're going to talk about that, Maria. That's going to be a doozy when they try to get you back. So we're going to talk about that. So they try to indoctrinate you, right? So to show that intense feeling, why are they doing that? It's to give the perception of attachment. To give the perception of attachment, like I need you now. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. You're like my soulmate. He swore he knew me. They all do. Yes, my Asia. They think that. So he shows this intense perception, like the perception of attachment. We gotta be with each other. How do they do that? We have to be with each other at all times. I need to call you. I need to know where you at. Need to know where you're going. I need to know about your family structure. I need to know what you're doing after work. We have to, this is something that we have to discuss all the time. You know, Maisha, grandiose narcissist specifically, will swear he know all women. He will swear he know all women by how they think, move, talk, speak, act, down to he could know a woman by having sex with them. He could know a woman by how they chew. You got to realize a narcissist's main goal in life, right? Especially a male one, females too, but that's their passion is women is to get supply. That's their hobby. It's a hobby. Yeah, of course they think they know women. This is their life mission, to know all women. If they had the opportunity to have every single woman, absolutely, especially a grandiose, 24/7 control stalker. Yes, tell it, Maria. Right. So now, this is very important. They want to give the perception of attachment, right? I need you. I can't breathe without you. I don't want you to go nowhere. I want to be with you at all times. Okay? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? It's to establish something. It's to establish what we call a false fantasy. That's how they're going to indoctrinate you. They're going to indoctrinate you into this false perception of love. A false perception of love. They can't do that without first getting you in the web. They can't do that without first attaching you to them. They got to attach you to them, but they got to first say, I'm attached to you, right? Mines would talk to me on the phone all day while I'm at work. All day. Yes, my angel. All day. All day. Well, come on. Let me tell you why they do that. Okay. They don't want to give you a chance. Okay. They don't want to give you a chance. I tell you why. They don't want to give you a chance because of this. They want to smoke you out. They want to smoke you out. They don't want you to see the forest before the trees. Okay? If I smoke you out of the truth, you'll never see. You'll never see the truth. You'll never have questions. You'll never be critical of what I'm saying. Right? I got to pull you into my false fantasy. Right? Yes, they'll surprise you with flowers, lunch, right? Make all the other females, oh, yes. But part of that also is at the same time, they have to be triangulating someone else as well, right? They have to make somebody else jealous. Making somebody else jealous while they idolizing you still causes the other person to remain attached to them. They want everyone attached to them until they're ready to discard them, or you're ready to discard yourself and get up out of there, But yeah, absolutely. They don't want nobody to go nowhere, even if they say they want people to go somewhere. No, they want everyone to remain attached to them. Multiple women if they can. Absolutely. So during that, they smoking you out of the truth, right? They're smoking you out of the truth. I would love that if he wasn't so evil, girl. Evil isn't the word, right? You can't tell what is right and what is wrong in that shared fantasy. You don't know what is going on in that shared fantasy. You don't have questions anymore. You begin a process where you start to, everything is them. You become an extension of them in that false reality, right? It starts there, because when they bring you into that shared fantasy, bring you into that false reality, that's their world. They dragged you to hell in another way to put it. Okay? They dragged you into their world. Yeah. Even if you was in the bathroom. Listen, I don't like to bring mines all the way. I don't like to tell my story all the time, but mines told me there's no locked doors, even on the bathroom. Okay? Right? Find them evil and incarnated, right? Mine said there was no locked doors, even on the bathroom. So yes, when I was living with him, there's no locked doors. I need to know what you're doing at all times. That's just what it is. And where I'm living, you don't lock a door. They don't want to give you a chance to sit back and think. To sit back and think at all. They want you to get rid of your family ties in that shared fantasy. This verse When they first came along and romanced, right? Sounds familiar? Thank you. When they first came along, they wanted to know your family. They got to make a great impression. Okay? I want to know your family. Who's your family? I want to get to know them. I want to know. I want to meet your mom. I want to meet your dad. I want to meet your sister. I want to meet your brother. They want to merge with you in that sense, right? Get to know your family. Make a great impression. But then when they get you and after they romanced you and they got you hooked in the shared fantasy, yeah, all those great people I just met, you got to let them go. There's no room for them up in here. Your mother can't tell you nothing in this relationship. Nobody say nothing to you in this relationship. They got to go. Okay? Adios. Not a mama, not a daddy, sister, brother. I don't want to hear nothing about them in this house where we share, or even if you're in a relationship. I don't care. I want to hear nothing about your family. You got to let them go. You have no family because of them. That's the benchmark of how they work, Maria, the benchmark of how they work. Okay? Maria, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't have any more trouble coming into the live for next week. But yeah. Okay? That's how that works. So they get you to get rid of your family ties. Okay? So they can remove you from your own free thought and free will. Remove you from your free thoughts and your free will. You know? Yeah. Family can't stand it. Family cannot stand it. Okay? Look at that. Because see, your own kids, no exception. No exception. Thank you, Maria. And your support system. What supports the system? I am your support system. That's how they feel. I am your support system. Okay? Now you have nobody left. When they have you get rid of your family ties, there's nobody left at this point besides you and the narcissist. You and the narcissist. That's it. Children before that relationship, I don't care about them. They have nothing to do with me. That's how they think. Okay? Family, that doesn't matter. That matters nothing to me. They are not my family. I don't care about them. You know? I'm sorry to hear that, Maria, but I'm not even surprised. You must have at some point or another started to rebel that fantasy. You started to reject that fantasy. You know? Like when you start to wake up, then there's a problem. Because as long as you're part of that fantasy and as long as you're happy, not even happy, because we live unmiserable, we live totally in misery in that shared fantasy. We are miserable in that shared fantasy. They're happy. Okay? But when you start to reject it and say, this don't even make sense to me, that's when the problem starts. Right? In that reality, in that false reality, can't nobody check you. Can't nobody chin check you up in there. Can't nobody say, wait a minute, there's a problem here. Why are you listening to him do that? Why are you listening to him? Why are you doing that for him? What's the problem? Why? This seems fishy. Okay, that's why they need to separate you from that support system. They don't want you to know that. They don't want nobody to tell you that at all. Right? Mm-hmm. Right. Maria, you had a doozy one. You had a doozy. You know, I mean, you would think one could be worse than the other, but honestly, they all have their own, they all work from the same framework. I said that in the last show. They work from the same framework. Some could be a little worse than others, depending on when we talk about maybe some could be a little bit more physical than others. But I think that's where it begins and ends for the differences. A lot of them have the same frameworking in terms of how they indoctrinate and how they pull you into a shared fantasy and how they idolize. And listen, we could go on and on, right? Yes. Yep. So once they get you there and it's just you and them, right? They pull you into the hall of mirrors. It's the hall of mirrors. Right after they love-bombed, right after they romanced you, right after they love-bombed you, right? They pull you into a hall of mirrors where it's just you and your perception of what you think this love is. Okay? And nothing but the lies that they tell you. Nothing, right? They're so alike. Yes. Nothing but the lies that they tell you in this shared fantasy. In this shared fantasy. If you happen to start to believe it, this is what happened. This is how this mechanism works and why it's so very dangerous, ladies. I'm going to explain something to you. This is very important. If you believe the fantasy, when you get pulled in, and the only thing that you're remembering in that relationship is the love bombing and the romancing, his reality becomes yours. But see, he has false reality. He has no real, true reality of who he is. Inside of that narcissistic head of his, right? Inside of that narcissistic head is all of that sadistic thoughts, those negative thoughts, that hatred for himself, right? He can be petty. He can gossip. He can start drama. Okay, among you and your family, friends, among his own family and friends, he could start a lot of drama. Okay, he or she. I gotta watch the pronouns, but I have to say, for the sake of the show, he, right? He does all of these things. Okay, when you're starting to feel good about yourself, he will drag you down, talk about you, treat you horribly, right? Build you up, take you down, build you up, take you down, build you up, take you down. The process of that is a vicious cycle continuously every single day. But when you get pulled into that shared fantasy and you think it's the way of life, you think it's the way of life. Why is that so dangerous? Do they really hate themselves? Absolutely, Roberta. Absolutely. Now that might seem kind of like irony when you think about the fact that they act like they love themselves totally. Okay? They act like it. They put on a great front. Okay? I tell you that. But no. No, they hate themselves tremendously. The scary ones are the ones who don't have to lay physical harm on you. They are experts at shredding your identity apart and leaving you with nothing. Lynn is in and for the kill too, right? That's absolutely true. You want to be mindful of the malignant ones. You want to be mindful of the ones who work up here constantly looking for ways to shred you down mentally, not so much physically, mentally, right? And that's what I said about the building you up and then taking you down, building you up and taking you down. How that love bombing mechanism work is they will make you feel like you are the best thing on the planet. Even after they got rid of they really treated you horribly. So they'll say, you really are the only one for me. You're the only one who understands me. I can't do without you. I can't almost breathe without you. I mean, you're everything. You're like a soulmate to me. We get along when nobody else understands me. And then in the same breath, I could tell you, I promise you, a week later, they're like, you ain't crap. You're not crap. You don't mean nothing to me. You're dog doo-doo. You see how that works? Right? Yep. 3 different times he said on pics of my wife. Right. Absolutely. They get very petty. So think about that. Can a person really love themselves if they can get very petty? We talk about the smear campaign all the time, but when you think about how that smear campaign works, and that's going to be for a later show, so I'm going to go into it briefly. The smear campaign, right, is when when you have either discarded them or you shamed them in public or something, you made them really totally mad, right? There's no levels to how petty they can get. Okay? Think of your biggest petty, and they will be, you'll be like, yeah, that'll be something they would do. Just when you be like, I know he won't do that. I know he won't do that. That I know he won't do. And that boom. Boom. Okay? So let's not put a thing past the narcissist. A thing. Right? So when you get part of that fantasy, you too become almost like them. Think about this. I know I'm going to scare some people away. Don't log off yet. They pull you into the shared fantasy and you merge with them. You merge with them, right? There's several smear campaigns against me. I hope people. Maria, you are on it. Hi, Kayla. Yes, thank you for coming. Again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please share, please like. Listen, they pull you in. And yes, and they pull you in. That smear campaign is crazy, right? Yep. Hi, get me on. Okay. Hi, Norman. I'm so glad Norman is here. Norman has a very great story to tell. Okay. I'm going to bring Norman up. Okay. Norman has a great story. Let me share the link. Norman has a great story about the love bombing phase. Okay. Give me a second, Norman. I'm going to invite you up. And we got to pay homage to Norman. Norman came up last week and he gave me a run for my money. I said, listen, Norman, you got to come back up here. Okay. You got to come back up here. And he got a great story to tell about a love bombing phase of his own. I hope you got do you see that link? No, hold on. I think. Let me know if you see that link, Norman. I hope you can't. Okay, hold on. Let me try again. So you could click the link. Let me know. Can you get in? Yeah. So awesome. Okay. You don't see it yet? Okay. Okay. I think not yet. Let me know if you see it, Norman. Yes, Maria said, yay, Norman. Norman, come on up and talk to us. Norman got a great story to tell exactly how that works, especially because he's so fresh out of a situation. And I hope he get the link because I definitely sent it. Let me know, Norman, if you're still having a problem. And it's very important that we get to hear in real time. I always want to bring people to come up and share with me. If anybody ever want to come up and share with me, please don't hesitate. The StreamYard link is in the box. We're gonna give Norman a platform to speak on. And if you want to come up right after him, then please, I implore, come up and tell me your story, because the love bombing phase is very, very important for us to talk about. Where are you posting the link? Hold on. Okay, not a problem. Give me a second. I'll show you. Let me pull that up. Okay, not a problem. Give me a second. Yep. So we're going to, oops. Okay. Give me a second, everybody, while I get Norman up in the room. And then once I get Norman in the room, we'll be good to go. Norman, I'm looking for you now. Hold on. Where you at? Norman, I'm going to share it in our chat. Let me see if I'm going to share it in the chat too, Norman. I think that will probably be the best thing. Hold on. Look in your Facebook chat. So that should be, look in your Facebook chat and you should go from there. So now let's continue. So with the love bombing phase, you can't tell what is right and what is wrong in a love bombing phase. That's where all the lies live. That's where the deception begins. You do not know how to maneuver out of a situation where you are in the Hall of Mirrors. It's not going to happen. It's the worst feeling to be in. You get involved in this big old Hall of Mirrors, right? And only in that Hall of Mirrors, you're seeing yourself clearly. You're seeing yourself clearly. Why is this so very, very important? Because this is where we find ourselves too, in love with ourselves. I'm going to add you in a second, Norman. We fall in love with ourselves during that love bombing phases in that Hall of Mirror as well, because this is the biggest, greatest feeling anybody has ever gave us. Sometimes this is the first time we ever loved ourselves. That can be intoxicating. That could be very intoxicating. Hi, Norman.
Hi, Slam Sister Ivy, how are you doing? You alright?
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, I'm getting there. Yeah, man. It was lovely speaking to you last week. I'm so glad I found you. Everyone
Listen,
that's listening, please like and share and subscribe. This
yes,
sister here, she is so empowering. She has the knowledge when it comes to this kind of, you know, pandemic, which is affecting all of us and all our communities, you know. So
yes,
share this and yeah. How you
yeah.
doing? You okay?
I'm doing beautiful. We had such a spirited conversation last week, everybody. I couldn't get off the phone with then we had to talk even further after the show. And I tell you, we exchanged so much information. I mean, books and just like he's my brother from another mother, but then he had a very, very important story to tell too. You want to tell people about your experience with a
Yeah.
narcissist?
I met my narc before this COVID crap was here back in February. You know, now these narcissistic people, their playground is primarily, especially today when we use all these social media, this is where they hang out, right? So I was on my people you may know on my Facebook. You know, I come across my narc, I added her because I was single at the time, as you do.
Mhm.
And yeah, we started speaking, it did move really, really fast. We decided to hang out after like a couple of weeks, right? After
Mhm.
talking. But she was literally bombarding me from the get-go, you
Mhm.
know, always messaging me because I was still, courting other people, talking to other people, but she stood out. She stood out like a sore thumb,
Mhm.
you know. So
Mhm.
we decided to hang out one of the days. We met up, you know, we went out to something to eat. Then we came back to my place. Now, this is where it all started right here now. She was touching me, she's telling me I'm the best guy she's ever had. She wanted to get intimate very quickly with me. And, as a man, I ain't gonna lie, I did like that. But, something clicked in my head. I was like, hold on a minute. This is going really quickly. If she's doing this to me, she's probably been doing this to every single man,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
And I like that, right? So she didn't decide to stay here after we did our thing. She went back home and she hit me up on my Facebook and she goes, "Would you like me to contribute to the food the restaurant you took me out tonight?" But back then I didn't realize that was a trick. That was form of manipulation. She wanted to try to suss me out. She wanted to ask me that to see. She knew from the back burner that I was gonna say no, it's cool. But she was asking me that to see what I was gonna say, right?
Yeah.
So after that day, right, we started talking more and more. She kept bombarding me with messages. I'm the best place she ever had. You know, this continued for the next few months. We decided to hang out again. She'd come here, we'll eat. Then after a few months, that stopped all of a sudden. You
Mm.
know, she decided to stay here for a few days a week and stuff like that. But that mask dropped. This is why the love bombing stage, it's so addictive. It's so manipulative. This is the part where they mirror you.
Mm.
They look at everything that you like, everything you do. These people are crafty, cunning people. You know.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah. So this is when the devaluing starting. She always tried to control me.
Mhm.
She tried to insult me. Initially, it was like a joke, but then it just got worse. It went from control. She didn't allow me to see my kids. She goes, "If you want to be with me, you can't see. You need to stop seeing, your daughter."
Mhm.
You know, and it was just really, really horrible. The control. I want to go on my phone, ask me where I am, and
Yeah.
I was stuck in that cognitive dissonance. Now,
Yeah.
if you guys don't know what cognitive dissonance is, it's basically when you have two contradicting views about something or somebody in your head, and you
Mhm.
just can't seem like I was like, where's this amazing person gone? Where's she gone? You're telling me she's not real?
That's right.
And I kept asking her, and she'd gaslight me. I'm not doing anything. But
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, she broke up to me. She broke down to me. She goes, you know what? I had a really bad I had a really, really bad childhood. I was abused. My real father left me when I was young. My stepdad used to abuse me. My mom used to just. Her mom was an enabler. I think her mom was like a
Mhm.
codependent,
Mhm.
and her
Mhm.
mother just maybe she was scared as well.
Yeah.
And her mother just used to stand there and let her get abused. The same thing happened to her brother at first, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, she started speaking to her ex. Now she triangulated me. Are you familiar with triangulation, Ivy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We was just talking about that triangulation now.
She triangulated me with her ex, and so she formed a triangle. She'd go to him,
Mm.
me, and I was just trauma bonded. You know, at that point,
Mhm.
I knew what she was doing wasn't right, but I just couldn't leave.
Yeah.
You know, so then all of a sudden she left me, she discarded me. Then after a couple of months, she came back to me again, right? And same cycle repeat itself. I'm sorry, I realized how great you were, and then now just in March she's discarded me, and now I feel this is the final discard.
Mm.
I made a big mistake. You know what I did the other day,
What did
right?
you do? We talked
I
about
tried
this.
to reach, I tried to reach out to her best friend to tell her about her. Now, her best friend's a flying monkey, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And Norman, would you say that the love bombing stage is more effective when a woman is doing it to a man? Hmm.
Hmm. Good question, Linizin.
With that question, right? I think with a woman, becomes more seductive in the
Yeah.
love bombing stage, where a
Yeah.
man would show off more of his, his possessions and,
That's
love bombing with, I can give you a perfect life. But I think a woman is more somatic. If you know what somatic means, she'll show
that's
off
right.
more of your body.
That's right. It's about
So
luring men. It's like about luring men in with their looks and their body.
yeah, because
Absolutely.
with my ex-narc, she wore the most provocative clothes going. It could be raining outside, and she's with the
Hmm.
most shortest shorts going. I
That's
know men
right.
aren't used to being loved by women. That depends really. It
Right.
really does depend. Depends on the person because the love bombing's so manipulative, right?
Hmm.
You think it's real at the time, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
But as I was saying, she just got. I saw the flying monkey. I did try to tell her best friend about her, and she goes to me, you know what? I know her. She's not like that, you know.
Hmm.
She was telling me that you was abusing her. And then she went back to tell her. So would you say,
That,
Ivy, I broke the no contact rule by
that's right. See, that's a very important thing. You have to realize that with narcissists, everybody's not going to believe that they're narcissists. They're a narcissist, especially if they're not in a romantic. You got to be in a romantic relationship with a narcissist to really know that. To really
Yes.
know, So some people, and this is why they have so many flying monkeys or support systems, and because these people don't have to deal with them romantically. So
Yeah.
they get to put on their best face for just about everybody, but it's the
Yeah.
it's the one that they have a romantic relationship who suffers, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what it is, right? I mean, you're telling me that her best friend and the people close to her don't know what she's really like. Of course they do.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
yeah. Well, in a romantic, no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't get the gist. They wouldn't get the full understanding. Now they would know that she's a little bit over the top in a relationship. They might find her to be, maybe unsettled, maybe a little bit mentally unstable, right? But the
Yeah.
word
I mean,
narcissist
the
won't
way
really
the way
register.
they describe her, right? Because obviously they don't know about the whole narcissism as much as we do. They
Yeah.
call her stubborn. Oh, she's so stubborn, man. She always wants her
Yeah.
own way. You
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
that's what narcissists are. So narcissistic people are stubborn by nature.
They
So,
are.
so, so, so it's always their way.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I went to therapy. My therapist has been in this field for over 35 years. And
Yeah.
I have to still wonder, is she a narcissist? But the thing is, narcissistic people, they don't genuinely believe they have a problem. And that's a
They
problem,
don't. They don't.
you know?
Not at all.
And I've looked at the DSM, which we
Hmm.
don't use yet, and I thought to myself, she was abused growing up. So is there a possibility that she can have a cluster B personality disorder? And the chances are really high, really
Well,
high.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can't, right? We can't actually diagnose them, right?
Yeah,
Everything that you said would definitely kind of add up. When you think about taking out that diagnostic manual and doing all of your checklists, you might say, okay, well, you know what? It adds up. This is everything she did to me. She might be a narcissist, right?
yeah, yeah,
But the point is that sometimes we can't really know. So what do? We have to start to protect ourselves mentally, right? We understand what the mechanism is. We know how it works. We know what it did to us. We know how it made us
yes,
feel. So we
yeah,
don't want to continue to put ourselves because let's put it this way, Norman. If she came back to you once, she'll come back to you again. Right? I don't know
yeah,
what type of supply you are, but you must be an amazing man. So every single time things go bad for her, she's just going to go ahead and
yeah.
reverse her
Well, Ivy,
business
man, I
back
was
over to
providing her
you.
everything, Ivy, everything
Right.
you could want. I even gave her a place to live. I
Yeah.
provided all her food. She didn't
Look at
have to
that.
pay for anything. She chip in now and then, but I mean, the distinct characteristic that she had is the cycle that narcissistics use: the love
Hmm.
bombing, the devaluation, and the discard. It's just a coincidence that she was following these patterns.
Yeah.
And I recently found out is that have you heard of the narcissistic harem when they have people
Oh
all the
yeah.
time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know she always has people in
Hmm.
the forefront somewhere. Like she kept going back to people, playing with them, going back and forth.
See, narcissists, even, okay, so they have ones they discard fully. They have ones, but you have to realize depending on the type of supply you are, a
Yes.
supply, depending on, you have to provide 3 types of supply. So that's supply in terms of narcissistic supply, service, and the third one. So service, supply, and sex. Service, supply, and sex, right?
Yeah.
And narcissistic supply can be it could be narcissistic supply and sadistic supply. So some of them. So let's talk about sadistic supply. Sometimes they get a real joy out of hurting people.
No, they really do. I mean, my
They get a
ex
joy out of
every
hurting
time,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
every time she should see me angry or upset, that the pain she was causing me,
Yeah.
she would literally sit in the corner with a smug smile on her face.
Yeah.
With no emotion at all. Like a normal human being doing this to a normal human being,
Yeah.
they would be remorseful. They'd be like, oh my God, what am I doing? But she literally sat there with no emotion. This is how you know that these people are sick.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a telltale sign right there. If they could sit there and have no emotional attachment to those feelings, right? So, you know, she's getting kind of some joy out of that, right? It didn't occur to me that men were targets and female narcs too. There are, Maria, there are.
Yeah, majority of narcs are men, but women could be not just as narcissistic, you know. But I think that when it comes to narcissistic females, they abuse slightly different to the male narcissist. I mean, I think a male narcissist would be more physical when it comes to the abuse, but you know, you wouldn't really see a woman trying to strangle a man, would you?
Right, exactly.
You know? I think a woman would be more emotional in the sense of abuse, but a woman would be definitely more emotional. Mine was more emotional abuse more than anything.
Right. They'll start a lot of catty arguments or drama. They'll try to, you know, separate you.
Circular arguments. And one thing she used to really drive me up the wall was the stonewalling that they do.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
She literally, you know, we'd be arguing. She'd just go on her phone and ignore everything I say. And
absolutely. And
have you ever heard the saying "silence is power"?
Say that again.
Oh, I think I can hear you, Ivy. Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
No, I think your mic's turned off.
Oh, do everybody hear me? Put a yes in the room or no in the room. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
So as I was saying, you know, I mean, I think the Buddha once said it that one of the most powerful things is silence.
Yes, it is.
You know.
It is.
And when we used to argue, she'd introduce them to me. Whenever I tried to argue with her, she'd be very quiet about it, and that used to really drive me up the wall. I'm like, "What are you listening to me?" And she'd go on. She goes, "I ain't going to talk to you because you've done X, Y, and Z." You know,
Let's talk about that for a minute, because once they get you attached to them after the love bombing phase, right? The first thing that they start to do when they want to kind of manipulate you and use all of that discarding tactic is they withhold, right? So they'll give you the most passionate sex you ever had in your life and then withhold it, right?
Yes.
They give you all of this conversation and then give you the silent treatment. That's of that is mental abuse, right?
Yes.
You know, they pretend like they're your biggest friend on the planet and then treat you like you're their worst enemy, right?
Yes.
So you see the flip coin of each. It's a big cycle back and forth.
With my ex-narc, right, she used to deliberately tell me afterwards, straight up, you know, after we used to have sex, she'd be like, you know what, I don't want to know you now. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't see you like anything. It's just weird how someone says that you're the soulmate. She literally made me a book, right? Silent text warnings. But we'll get to that in a second. Hold on, let's make a point. It's just how it's so sick how someone could say they love you, and after while they devalue you, they say that they hate you and you're the worst ever. Because I went from being the best man she's ever had to the worst man she's ever had.
That's right. Right.
But talking about Storm, another thing she used to do to me, Marie, is like she used to during an argument, she used to walk out my house, and I used to follow her, and we used to call the drama on the street, you know. And say if she's at home and I'm at home and I should try to call her, she'd deliberately reject my calls. Wow. Again, having that control and power. So I'd be trying to call her, reject. That gives them that kind of power and control over you, which they love. And she'd block me for a good couple of hours and then block me. They love to play. It's all a game. It's all a game to them.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. So let me ask you something. Norman, really quick. When she started to triangulate you, right?
Yes.
Tell me what was your biggest thought at that moment? What was your biggest?
Well, my biggest thought, I was really confused, right? You know, I
Mhm.
just didn't see what this guy was giving her
Mhm.
that I wasn't giving her, right? Because I was not to even blow my own trumpet, right? I was in such a better position than him,
Mhm.
and so I mean, I was just really confused. I was lost. I didn't know nothing about narcissism and abuse, how it worked, right? I was
Mhm.
just thought, like, without disrespect, I was just thought she was just a whore, like this literally goes around sleeping with people.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what she used to do, right? She'd go there, stay at him for a couple of nights, come back to me, and she used to compare my sex and things to him. So I think she used to put me down to him, and then she used to
Mhm.
put, and vice versa.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know, after 2 weeks, right? I remember once she
Mhm.
went to him for 2 weeks, and that's it. I thought we were done. I was discarded again.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
2 weeks, she called me. She called me up again. She goes, "Listen, you know what? I realized I don't want him after all. I don't know
Mm.
what I was thinking." I was
Right.
like, "What the hell? You keep going you keep jumping around to people. These people get bored really quickly."
That's right. And they do. And and Maria made a very good point when she was trying to make you jealous. Was you
Yes,
aware of that?
definitely. She's definitely trying to make me jealous. Yes, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. While she used to be out at that guy's her ex-boyfriend's house, I used to be waiting outside my car full of anger. I wanted to literally physically hit the guy, and he
I
wanted
did
to do this.
too.
He wanted to do the same to me, and that's what narcissists love. They love drama. You know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Um,
Oh yeah, they would
and
love to see, she would have loved to see you two guys square off
yeah,
for her
yeah. Oh
behalf.
man. Yeah, it
So
was definitely like that. Olivia, I wanted to ask you one question, right? If
sure.
narcissistic disorder is an illness, right, and
Mhm.
it's definitely an illness because in the DSM,
Right.
can you? Would you say they know what? I know they know what they're doing. Can you say they can control what they're doing?
Not necessarily, no.
Because like someone with bipolar, they can't help their mood swings they have, right?
Yeah, and I don't
I
think
mean,
see,
I'm not going to sit here and excuse their behavior, but can they help it?
see the thing about it is, Norman, they got, part of that narcissism is like an altered ego, right? It's
Right.
part of that. It's part of like a disorder of the ego. Can they control it? I'm thinking they can. But is it can but will they? I don't. That's the question.
Yes.
Will they? No. It's in their mind. It's like
It's
they have
normalized.
a false
Yeah.
reality of what's going on in the world. So I think that, they say that a lot narcissists only because you say it's only 1% of the population, right? So guess what? The ones who they say the 1% of that population is the one who actually went to the therapist to get help, right? And I would
Yes.
say only a fraction of that did wonders in therapy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
they
funny you
have
say
the
that, Ivy.
ability
Sorry to interrupt
to
you. It's
change.
funny you say that. It's because there was a time where she was like, you know what, Norman, I really think there's something wrong with me. I've been doing this for a few times between guys. I really think I need help.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
that's what she
mm.
said. She goes, I think there's something wrong with me. So she actually kind of acknowledged she wasn't well. I know narcissists know that they know they're not well, but they don't follow through with it, do they? You know,
Absolutely not. Not absolutely
they
not.
know they're not well. They know they need help. They just
Yeah, I
deny it.
mean, it really, really in their mind, everyone else is kind of crazy. Everyone else
Yeah,
is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They're just and they enjoy though the bad behavior that they inflict on people because it gives them it gives them some kind of value in life because they're trying
yeah,
to fill a void, right?
yeah,
So if they're triangulating people and getting them jealous, if they're causing drama with people, having people argue with each other, getting people attached to them, so that the person is dead in love with them and things like that. All of this is fun and games. It adds purpose to their life. So in their mind, why let something like that go? It's the biggest form of this is my supply. Is life for them. Supply is breath.
yeah.
Supply is
Supply
breath.
is something which supply is like a drug, right, for
Yes,
them.
it's like a drug.
I
It's the
mean,
same drug though that they give you when they're love bombing you. Guess
yeah,
what? It's
yeah.
the
This is
same
why. I
drug.
mean, I did mention it last week. I mean, according to my therapist, when
Yeah.
they trauma bond you, now trauma bond in layman terms is like an addiction.
Hmm.
Trauma bonding, they say, when it comes to physiologically, is more addictive than heroin.
Yeah.
If you look at how the human being is addicted to a drug, we get that dopamine release.
Yeah.
So when they're love bombing you, we get that dopamine.
Yeah.
Then when they abuse you, you get a cocktail of stress hormones, and
Hmm.
you start craving for that dopamine release they give you. And when they withdraw that, you know,
Yep.
that's exactly when you start craving. So you literally get addicted to them, which
Oh yeah.
sounds quite horrific, you know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. It is an addiction. And you know what? It's the worst form. I used to say this all the time to people. I don't wish narcissistic abuse on my worst enemy. I'd rather get them in another way.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. But you
That's
know,
why I appreciate Ivy. I mean, I'm with you with this to spread awareness. I'm happy
yeah.
that you're doing these podcasts,
Thank
and
you.
don't know, you know, how much will affect the community. But that's why I'm all for you. I'm here to support
Thank you.
people. I'm here to, you know, I work with you to help people because it's really sad that many people are in relationship with these people and they
Yeah.
haven't got a clue about narcissism and
They
how these
don't.
people work.
They don't. You know, the more actually my clients come to me after the biggest pain, right? So while you in these relationships, can't nobody tell the person who's in a relationship with that narcissist, can't nobody tell them nothing. Their ears are closed. It's the best love of their life, the best sex of their life, the best feeling of their life until the pain comes, right? And
Yeah,
then it's the worst pain you can possibly feel from
yeah,
anyone,
yeah. Like
right?
I remember her friend told me the other day, why don't you just get over her? Like they literally don't understand about how abuse works. She goes,
Right.
you know, many people just get over these people. The thing is, this is a whole. I've been manipulated, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is psychological manipulation. You don't get over these things quickly, you
Mm-hmm.
know. In a normal,
Mm-hmm.
healthy relationship, when two people split up, it's mutual. You're both in pain, you
Right.
know. I'm
Right.
confused. If they know what they're doing, why don't they get help?
So that's a good question, Roberta.
Yeah,
They're not typically born with it. However, most narcissists, it's created during early
yeah.
childhood, right? Early
Many
childhood
people like to say it's genetic, but I
is
don't believe it is.
no, I don't believe it is. It
Nobody's
happens
born a
during early
narcissist.
childhood, right?
They're mostly going with that, you know, the theory that it's conditioned, so it's
Hmm.
learned.
Yeah,
So
it's a
most
learned
people,
behavior
yeah, there's two
from early
extremes
childhood,
from it. You know,
right?
either childhood trauma and neglect and abuse, or
Yes.
over pampering, as you said last week, Ivy.
Absolutely. Over
Yeah,
pampering, which is people seem to kind of dismiss that part because
yeah,
you can actually love your child into terribly into narcissism, just love them into it. That
yeah,
mechanism, push them into that in terms of that
yeah.
overdoting, over mothering, over, just too much, right?
And going back with that question, right?
I've seen
The,
grown men. I want to
yeah,
say this part. I've seen grown men who are still their mothers, so codependent, they would still in their 40s wiping the food off their mouth. Wiping the food off their mouth. If their food fall on their shirt, they'll wipe their shirt. Wonder why their son is a narcissist. My
wow.
God, he think he's entitled to the world, right? So
Yes,
that's
yeah,
another form of that, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And another reason why this condition is not, you know, not really diagnosed is because very rarely. I mean, there is a lot of self-aware narcissists out there that have got help. Very rare,
Right.
but
Mm-hmm.
it's not something which is often diagnosed because not many narcissists go to therapy.
Right.
You know, they're
Right.
in that in denial. You know, they're basically the way I look at people with personality disorders is they're in their own little bubble. They're in their own
Mm-hmm.
little world. You know, everything
Yeah.
they see in life's distorted.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Yep. So this is a live Maria, but the comments come down after the comments don't stay on the live feeds after they shared with the public. Okay, just so you know. Roberta, I
Ivy
believe my
100%.
husband is both born and over mothering from his mom.
Wow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So it's when you think about it, you can trace these behaviors back to early childhood. They start to show some of the patterns of their behavior in early childhood, right? The bullying, right? The manipulation in early childhood. You see that in elementary with other children, right?
Oh
And,
yeah, yeah.
and then it's a learned behavior. It keep when they
So
don't
would
when
you say
those
narcissistic people during school they used to bully people?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you probably find that in their in their life, in their charts or family members where
Yeah,
it said they've been
yeah.
abused, or even sometimes they may not even have been that. They could have been very shy, bashful, withdrawn, right? Shy,
Oh, yeah,
bashful,
from the
withdrawn.
trauma.
And then
Yes,
they
yes,
said at
yes.
some point in their life, as they got older, they said, "I never want to feel that again. I want to be powerful. I want to be an alpha. I want to rule. I want to have power. I want to scare people. I want to make people put fear into people."
Yes,
Right?
yeah,
So because of them being bashful and also bullied themselves, right? It could have caused them to kind of set a scene for their, becoming have their own grandiosity and wanting power when they grow up, right?
yes,
And hurt other
yes.
people, right? So That's it. That's how that works. But I want to ask you a question, Norman. I mean, how are you feeling as time goes on? I mean, I know it's a day by
Um,
day process, but how are you
yeah,
feeling?
it's not. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'll be totally honest with you guys. When you initially go through the abuse and the discard, it's so difficult, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and say it's easy. It's not easy. And the
Mhm.
best way I've done it, from my humble opinion, is you need to seek help. Okay. Now, help
Mhm.
could be from family. The reason why I don't really like to say to go to family, because the only people that you know can help you, if like you, Ivy, if you've been through it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why you need to like literally get help. There's a lot of support work out there. There's a lot of places that do therapy. It was really hard for me at first, but when you start to empowering yourself and when you start to realize that what
Mhm.
these people are really about and who they really are, you
Mhm.
slowly start to heal. Healing's a process. It takes. I'm still healing right now. I mean, I went to my doctors and I have got CPTSD.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah, exactly, Maria. It's really hard as hell.
Yeah.
It's possible. You just gotta take every day. You just gotta learn to love yourself. You
Mhm.
know?
It takes a while.
Yeah,
I say that that's why it's important to have these type of places or people. You have to have a support system. You know what I'm saying? Even one, just a couple of good friends is better than sometimes any therapist.
yeah,
When you think about it, right? Somebody who understands you and who you are as a person, Norman, but not just even who you are as a person,
yeah,
can relate to your story, and they don't have to have necessarily went through narcissistic abuse, but they can feel you in a way where they be like, I hurt for you in that sense. Like, I feel bad that you had to experience that, and sometimes
yes,
just having that in itself is enough, right? But yeah, I mean, definitely awareness have to be brought to that, and then not a lot of people are
yeah,
understanding how it works in women. So you came up and you did us all a service.
yeah, yeah. Like every
Okay.
day, right? I still think about my ex narc. I'm
Yeah.
still cleaning from the trauma bond. I mean, I still think about her. I still think, oh, if she gets back with me, will she
Mm-hmm.
change? But these people don't change like that. They need to go and get help. It will just
No,
keep happening and happening and happening. And I'll be
it'll.
honest, over time, it just gets worse.
Yeah, I always say they don't change, they just perfect their game. They don't change, they just
Yeah,
perfect their game.
it's
And they have to put less effort into a lot of stages. Like they start to find people that are easier targets, so they don't have to put a lot of work into love bombing and stuff like that. They
one
do
thing
that over
though,
time.
I'm a firm believer in karma. What goes around comes back around. One day they might meet their match.
Oh
You
yeah.
know.
But narcissists can get hurt by other narcissists. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's another thing I
Yeah.
recently found out. It's very rare you would see a narcissist with a narcissist. It's like fire and water. They don't
Yes.
they don't mix. You know,
Yeah.
speaking metaphorically, a narcissist can literally sniff out an empath.
Oh, absolutely. They can
You
sniff
know,
out a empath, but
they know who's an empath and who's not. They literally hate another narcissist. This is what makes me thinking. Her friends
absolutely.
are obviously enablers and flying monkeys, but
Yeah,
I think deep down their friends know that's just hard work.
that's right. But an empath is the only one capable, really, of really sensing that narcissist and destroying them at the core. 9 times out of 10, when a narcissist has been hurt, it's been by an
Yeah,
empath.
because you know what, narcissists, they don't even like. I mean, she doesn't live with her mother, right? She lives with her grandmother, right? They
Hmm.
don't even like their own family members. Their family's so dysfunctional, you know. But how about the trauma bonding? Does it take a long time? Yeah, it
Yes.
can, it
Yes, they
can.
do.
Um, without being blunt, sometimes trauma bond, you can never get over these things. They can always be there.
It takes a while. I think that with that trauma bonding, let me give you a bit of my experience. I'm 10 years out, and I still sometimes there's always that small part of you. I don't want to say that y'all will go through that, but there's always that small part of you that ruminates. Ruminating is a process in which you sit back and you remember those stages, those love bombing stages, the romancing stages, right? You
Yeah,
ruminate on that, and then
definitely.
then you have a kind of a sense of hurt where you remember the pain that followed that, and then so you go through a moment. It happens. It's like a wave. It comes in, and then, I mean, but if you value yourself and you know who you are as a person, you kind of you push it off. Some people live in that moment for a long, long time, right? But like,
Yes.
that's why I said the love bombing is so dangerous, because it can stick onto you for years. For
Yeah.
years. It may not necessarily hurt you every single day as it would when you first come out of it, but certainly years later it can come to you like a wave or a memory, kind of like drugs.
Yes.
Drug addicts speak about this in Alcoholic and Drug Anonymous. Is they indicate that even 10, 15, 20 years, even they have been drugs, they have a moment where they remember taking in heroin, right? And they ruminate
Yes.
over that feeling that they had when they took that drug, and then it's like then they have a moment of where they mourn it and they're a little down, but then they go on, right? They don't just go back to the drug. So it's the same effect, the same
Yeah.
mechanism, the same effect. Yes.
I mean, going back with
Mhm.
the love bombing, right? I mean, when you are being love bombed, right?
Yeah.
Even you start to think, why am I feeling so in love with this person already? It's because they've done it deliberately. They deliberately make you fall in love with them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, after a few weeks, you know, I thought, wow, I really love this person. And when I told her how I felt towards her, that's when she, you know what, that's another fish. You know, that's another fish. I got another one. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, Maria, it's going to take a while. I mean, I'm so glad that you're starting to get better from it. And that's very, very important to recognize when you're starting to feel better. Recognize when you're
Um,
starting to feel better. Even if it's
Maria,
just,
would you feel comfortable telling your story or not?
would
You
you
know,
want to
let us
come up,
know.
Maria? We would
It'll be
love to hear
interesting.
your voice.
Yes.
Let us
Oh,
know. Even if
Ivy,
not,
you're
then you know what? You
amazing,
can
man.
always come up in future shows, because I want to always be able to bring somebody to the platform who can bring their
Yeah,
own experiences at any time.
yeah.
This
I mean, we could even do like a three-way. You know.
no, you don't want to tell myself no and change my
Never mind. No, it's not a problem. It's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to thank you for coming up, Norman. I'm not going to keep everybody tonight. I'm so glad that you told your story. I mean, especially keep coming and keep allowing us to be, your support system here.
Yes.
It's just it's so needed, not just to have therapy, but to have people who've been exactly where you was and understand the moment you're in mental space that you was in exactly at that moment, right? So that
Yes.
people can help you through that every single time. And I know it's just once a week here with us, but listen, look forward to it and keep coming back and keep sharing. I don't care how many times you see that link, jump up and talk. We need you. We need you here,
Yes. No, I need you guys as well, man. Because I've honestly, without you, I wouldn't have been able to process certain things that we spoke about last week. You know, you've been a great
Yeah.
help for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and I was so excited to speak to you offline. I mean,
yeah. I was thinking because we didn't agree to speak today. I was like, I better quickly go online quickly. Let me come on. You know, was
yeah.
you was you thinking if I was gonna appear today? Did you think I was not gonna come on or?
Right. I said, "Where's Norman? We spoke about this. Where's he?"
Yeah.
I thought about that.
But look,
Yeah. So
God is
you
great.
yes, Norman. So we're gonna have Maria then come up and share a little bit with us, and get in the comments too, and get the room stirred up like you always do.
Another
But
thing, all right,
yeah,
what really helps me is if you do believe in God and you are spiritual, is call out to God. God knows everything, right?
yeah.
And God sometimes God put you through certain situations, to see how
Mhm.
strong you are, right? You know.
Yep, yep.
Um,
I did.
but
I
praying,
did. I
praying
posted the
definitely
link,
helps.
Maria. Hold on. Maybe I could send it to you through let's try this another way, because listen, everybody is coming off of Facebook. I'm gonna have to learn how to work this thingamajigget, right? Because listen, it don't go to my Facebook group like it's supposed to. I'm gonna post it where in the group, Maria. Hold on. The same place I put the link the first time. Where is it? Okay. Hold on. Uh-oh. Okay. I know what I got to do. I know what I'm doing. Okay. Hold on. I need you to come up. This would be so cool. I need you to come up. Where are we? Okay. Hold on one second. I'm getting you in there. Let's find you. We would love for Maria to come up and share her story. I mean, it's so important to get some stories, because I think that people, let me find you. Where are you at here? Are you in the support group? I think you probably in the support group. Hold on. Where are you? I don't see you in there. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying. Oh, no. Where are you at, girl? Where are you, honey? Hold on. I'm finding you now. Give me a second. Oh, I found you. I think I found
Oh,
you.
oh,
I
right.
found her. I found her. Paste that. Okay. It's coming up to you. Okay. It should be in the same link on Facebook. And if you can come on up, that would be awesome. There you go. Hold on. I'm about to add you right now.
I'm
Hey.
on. I'm
Hi,
on
Maria.
YouTube.
Look at
Hi.
you.
So nice
Look
to
at
meet
the Barbie
you.
doll. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm better than I was 2 months ago. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
mhm.
tell us some of your story. Maria, I can sense that you had the passion to express your story in our
Yeah.
email that we did going back and forth. I said, this is a woman who wants to
Yeah.
share. Okay.
Well, I get that way sometimes. Yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you.
It's all right. Tell
No
me,
offense.
talk to me about your situation. How did you come about your situation with your narcissist?
Well, I automatically have some memory problems, but they're not severe, but they're definitely noticeable for me. But I think he was trolling on Facebook, and I don't remember if we were even friends or not, and we were just talking. So then we finally met up, and I mean that was almost 3 years ago. So I just remember he wanted to go to the zoo, and he told me which dress I had to wear,
Mm,
and I don't know what happened. Like 2 weeks in, like he really beat me bad and tried to choke me to death twice and all that.
Oh,
And he
wow.
kept calling me for weeks, like saying he wanted me to accept his apology and stuff. And I was like, hell no at first, but he just wore me down. And
mhm.
so I thought, well, because I'm very forgiving and I give people more than their share of chances, unfortunately.
Yeah.
but then from there, the behavior set in where he had to know where I was every minute of every day, and
Oh my
I
God.
found that he was stalking me, and he got mad when I'd tell him I don't want this relationship. You're very disrespectful to me, and I can't, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't let me break up with him. He would harass me. I had to change my number multiple times. I finally had to move, and then I had to quit my job, and I don't know,
Yeah.
just back and forth. I'd say 30 to 50 times probably.
Wow.
Um, I don't know. I mean, just the usual stuff. Um, but he was
Did
violent.
he stop when you moved, was that the official separation in terms of he couldn't reach you and that's how it got better for you? Like you had to
No,
oh boy.
I ended up moving back to St. Charles,
Mhm.
and he had messaged me. I had back surgery last September, in like July, August, September, October. He was messaging me through other people's messenger accounts, telling me he's so sorry. He's done being mean. He was mean before, but he's done being mean. And I was just recovering from surgery. I was depressed and vulnerable, so
Mhm.
I did talk to him. Big mistake, but anyway. Then he got my fifth new number, and he found out my new address, and he's
Oh
tried to
my
kick
God.
this door in. He's not allowed on the property, and he's got a warrant out for breaking the order of protection. And then
Mm,
he's
mm.
just, I mean, he's just a low life loser. And I honest to God, with no shame, say that I hope he burns in hell. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just
I
how
mean,
I feel about it.
it definitely makes us feel like that. Like,
Completely understandable.
you don't really
Yeah.
wish the best for them now, do we? You know, when
I don't.
when they hurt you so bad, you don't wish the
Yeah,
best
he
for the
hurt me
one who
very
That's
hurt you.
bad.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
My goodness. Have you, so you said you starting to feel better every day now, like even more, right?
starting to. I've only had my one therapy session, and then I got a second therapist. So I'm going to be going more frequently. You know, I'm having a hysterectomy July 1st, and I just had this back surgery. This one thing after another with my health. And so I don't know what I can relate other than I know that he was sneaking around being shady, and then slowly I found out what he was doing, and he was, you know, hanging out with a bunch of females and lying to me. And when I tried to call him out for 6 weeks straight, I tried to call him out on it, and he would scream, and he throws literal temper tantrums. He would cuss, call me names, scream at the top of his lungs, and slam the phone down. So after 6 weeks, I just gave up.
Yeah.
And that was never resolved, even though, because he knew I had him on all this stuff that he did.
Wow.
And it just got worse. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, Maria, you are so strong. I mean, just like Norman, I mean, you just, sometimes we think we're not that strong, and then we're faced with it. We have to be, you know, and then you realize how strong you are.
Absolutely.
You know? So, I mean, I commend you for expressing that.
I think he just caught me at different times. Sometimes I wasn't vulnerable and depressed, but sometimes I was. And so then I would more quickly just be like, I'll just be with anybody because I'm so lonely and desperate.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. It's sad, but it's true. That happens.
That's right. I mean, that was really the important topic of this show, because when we're vulnerable, they catch us the most. And when you think about codependence, I'm not saying you're one, but I know in codependency, we don't value ourselves, right? We don't really value ourselves. So when this person comes along, right, they make us feel like this is the first time somebody valued me, so now I can value myself now. You know, so you see yourself through the reflection.
Validation.
Right. So it's almost like you think you're seeing yourself through their eyes, but honestly, that's a false perception. But you think you're seeing yourself through their eyes. So you feel in love with yourself. Like, I'm free, I'm happy, I'm feeling great. Oh, I'm top of the world. Codependents feel like they're floating on cloud 9. Okay. You can't tell them anything. Right. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's hard when the come down happens, when it starts to fall apart, like the cards, right? When the cards start to tumble, it's hard, the hardest feeling. But I mean, I commend you for that. And, you think you might continue to do some therapy sessions eventually?
I absolutely am. I just know that sometimes, I don't know why I got back with them sometimes. I just,
it happens.
Because looking back, it's over now. But I mean, just like, my aunt saw me at the dollar store, and she said, Maria, he's going to kill you. And she meant it. And I said, oh, I'm not talking to him anymore. For that moment, I wasn't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she doesn't even speak to me. So.
Just remember this, Maria, that these people, they don't target you because you got bad qualities. They target you because you got good qualities.
Yes, right.
So don't ever don't ever blame yourself for what he did to you. It's never your fault. Remember that.
That's right.
No?
That's right. I agree with that totally. Thank you, Norman. That was a very positive statement.
It was good to hear from Norman, for sure.
Yeah. Norman, you always rock the house.
Norman,
you always rock the house. But Maria, I see you will be too, right there with Norman, rocking the house with us every week, I hope.
I hope so. I'm certainly going to give it my all, give it my best. I think it's helpful to get together like this.
Yes, I mean, I want to keep sharing. We normally have a lot more people in the room, but listen, we want to make sure that everybody at least understands from a perception from where you stand, because the thing about it is, people, they have to hear it from someone else's story, right, in order to understand. Because I'm finding that, in social media, and, you have people and doctors who speak about it, but you don't really understand it until you hear it from somebody's mouth, a story that they told. And when you can relate to it, you'd be like, that was me. Now I know how it feels, and I know what I need
Everything is so relatable. Everything.
Yes. Wow. And it's so funny how everybody could tell the same story. Norman, we finding that it's women is doing the same thing. So
even that was Norman's story that's very familiar. Like, that's the same. Yeah, same shit. Okay.
That's right. Right.
Yeah, it's just that
But
there's a
I,
stigma on men speaking about these things, you know. I know it happens to majority of you ladies out there, but it does happen to men. They say 40% of men be abused, but
that's
those are reported
I
cases,
mean,
That's right. Those are
you
just
know.
reported cases. Just
Yeah,
reported cases. And that's why I want to do more shows about female narcissists, because a lot of people grew up with mothers who were narcissistic, right? And
yeah.
yeah, I
that was
didn't know
some
that either.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, that was the worst type of abuse you can get from a
I
mother
mean,
who,
either with my situation, do you feel like can you get both? Not can both parents be narcissistic? Would you say? But
well,
because I know my
well,
ex-narc one, she was the enabler because she had
mhm.
different men herself, you know.
Well, I mean, certainly two narcissists can create a baby. That don't mean necessarily they would have stayed together, but yeah, like they could still
I
two
can't even
narcissists.
imagine that, if they're both
I
as
mean,
evil as each other.
they could create a child. Anything's possible. You could think you could create a child in one night. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
That don't
yeah.
necessarily mean they
Right.
stay together
But the,
because
but the fact that she used to like stand there while this man that she's with was physically abusing her daughter just shows she was just an enabler,
yeah, she wasn't in.
codependent.
She was an
Maybe she
enabler.
was scared herself, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you understand the fear that probably go through a woman if she's going to allow, like she's giving up her maternal instinct. She's scared something's going on there. She's giving up her maternal instinct to protect her child. There's a
Yeah,
problem
yeah,
there. Either it's
yeah.
Was
mental
that
or it's fear, you know?
was that your ex narc girlfriend, or was that her mother?
No, that was my ex-narc mother who did that too. Just
Okay,
allowed
that's
it to
what
happen,
I'm.
you know.
Okay.
And I mean, and an enabler is just as worse than an abuser, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Enabler. Yeah, his mom enables them, right? Right.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, and I want to get your take, Ivy. I periodically will send 3 or 4 texts to him, even though I've got him blocked, and just like cuss him out and tell him what a low life he is, and give examples, and tell him
Maria.
I hope he drops dead and stuff like. Is that okay? I know that's not okay,
Maria, you
but
know
I
what
mean,
my
I gotta
answer
get
gonna
it
be.
out. Huh?
You know what my answer gonna be. Why are you doing that?
Because I feel like he's such a loser. I have to let him know that I know.
The funny thing
I
about
don't
them,
know.
the funny thing about them narcissists is this. You give him life by even saying those things. He loves it.
That's what I'm
yes,
afraid of.
He
yes.
loves it. He loves it.
He's like,
You,
oh, she's
Completely,
thinking about
completely,
me.
yeah, it's
yeah, he
completely
loves
normal
it.
to do that, but
That's
that
that's
you're giving them power
sadistic.
and you do that.
That's
Yeah,
sadistic supply. If you love me or hate me, either one I'm fine with, as long as you're paying
Yeah, and he
attention to
said
me.
that before. He said, you'd love to hate me. And I said, no, I don't. That was early on.
You
And I
see?
don't love to hate him now, but
Yeah, so I mean, their motto is you could love me or you can hate me. Either one is fine with me, but I got your attention. I got your heart. I got your mind
yeah,
wrapped
I'm
around
going to
me.
have to remember that. Okay.
So the best way you hurt them more by acting like they don't exist. It drives them
I
absolutely
knew that.
insane.
But I just don't know how to, like, I don't know. Usually I can withhold from doing it. But then once in a while, I'm like, I'm going to tell him this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just,
yeah. I
so
mean, when
I
when
think
you're passionate, you almost find it almost hard not to, right? It's compulsive. It's like I gotta say this because he hurt me, But
yeah.
I tell people all the time, put it in a right, say it to a phone, put a video up, video record yourself.
Anything. I'll record it on an audio recording.
Well, you
I've
did
done
that
that
too.
before.
So then, why is it, you don't have to send it to him now, do you? You don't have to send it to
Yeah, because it's just, I know.
I mean, yeah, and I know
that's the right.
it's almost like I always remember this. Right when I'm about to send a text or send a call or send a message, I say, I don't want to make his day. Me sending that to him, he's going to have a wonderful day and I'm going to have a horrible one. You know
If
what
he
I'm saying?
reads it, I mean,
Yeah.
I would hope he would not have a
I mean,
wonderful
they
day,
will,
but
even when they act like they're not reading your text messages, they are. When you think they're not
I heard
looking
that.
for you, they are. When you think they're not watching you, they are. They're hoovering you. When they discarded you, you think that they're not watching you. That's a lie. They're building fake pages and they're watching you. They're watching to see if you're hurt behind them leaving you. That's statistic supply. They want to know if you're getting with another person so they can jump in and swoop in and stop that
I
at any
can
given time.
definitely vouch for that because when my narc discarded me, she still used to see my pictures, because when she hoovered me back in, she was like, "Who was that girl in your picture?" You know. And I
Yeah,
remember
they
being
do
with her.
stuff.
She
I
would
mean,
always go on
I
her
found out
ex's
later.
photos. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was listening to you about your with her ex and all that. But
Yeah.
no, he would stalk me, and I wouldn't find out till months later that he knew every move I made for 2 weeks straight, every single day.
That's
Oh
right.
wow.
Because yeah, I mean, follow me around
That's sick.
and stuff, and he come
You
up to
know.
my work and create scenes, and I mean everything.
That's it.
Just
And I had blocked mines 10 years ago and I won't unblock them. Okay. Like, listen,
good for you.
I won't.
Very
Listen,
smart.
listen. I mean, enough is enough. Okay. Enough is
Yeah,
enough. I
really.
value myself too much, because the
Yeah.
second I unblock, even 10 years later, the second I unblock them from any type of social media platform, what? He'll be all up on you would see him coming in this right now.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
would be in a
I've heard
messenger.
that.
He would be in a
Yeah,
messenger.
like he might be
A
leaving me
leopard never
alone right
changes its
now,
spots,
but
does it?
Right. Say that again, Norman.
A leopard never changed its spots, do they?
No,
You know.
no, not at all. Sorry. You
they
would think
don't
they were
change.
all
They just
right.
don't.
Right. They don't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, they don't. And you can't, there's nothing that you can absolutely do. So it gives me pleasure knowing this. This is what gives me pleasure knowing. I say to myself, he's still watching me. Okay. He's still looking for me. He's still looking for me. So why send a message of hate and scorn when I know that he's still watching me anyway? You understand?
Absolutely.
I have to do the reverse psychology. Like, I mean, so why am I so hurt when he's still watching me? But see, they want you to believe that they want to believe you're still watching
Yeah.
them. So let it go. Let it go. Because as soon as you stop
Okay, I'm gonna
contacting
do
them,
that.
listen, really, it's how
I've
you
got
think
to
about
stop
it.
doing that. I mean, I wanted to, and I was doing good, and then I did it, I guess, earlier today.
Right. I mean, Maria, I've been there. I sent some. I'm not even going to tell you the messages I
Okay,
sent.
yeah,
I
I
want to
hope
keep
you're
my
not
YouTube
dead. You
channel
want to commit
up.
suicide, whatever.
Yeah.
Do the world a favor, please. We all
Right.
know you're a loser, so.
Listen, I've said some nasty things. I didn't even like myself after
Oh,
the
I did.
I've said.
Thank you. I just am so angry, and that this is supposedly one of the phases. So
Yes,
yeah,
it's
and
one of
it's
the
actually gotten
phases.
better.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the phases. You never will forget how they treated you. Like, so
Probably.
even if you go back, it's never the same where it was when you first met during that love. So never. So why bother? Why say anything? Why test those boundaries? Let it go, because it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
The message is not going to bring them back to you. Even if they do, it's not going to be the same relationship. So why?
I fear that he'll listen to what I'm saying, see how he went totally wrong, and that he'll meet the next girl and he'll treat her 100% right. Like, it's not even rational, is it?
No, they
See, I
don't.
love
They
that
don't.
Because I'm teaching
topic.
him or something. I
I
know
love
that's
that
not
topic.
rational.
I love that topic. The reason why I say that is because that's what we all think. We think that after us, they're going to run off into the sunset, and this great guy who we thought he was, or the great girl we thought she was, going to run off and be happily ever after with another person. But that's not how that mechanism works. No,
It doesn't.
It's
doesn't.
impossible. I mean, they can't do it. The only thing that they're going to do in the
not
next
capable.
relationship is treat that same person the way they treated you, treat that same person that way. I mean, some things might be tweaked or a little different. It might take them a little longer to discard them or hurt them or cheat on them or whatever. But it's
For
going
their
to happen.
mask to fall off.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, it will definitely happen.
Maria.
I mean,
Call a mask.
Right. And the only other difference is if the person is weaker than you. So if they get a person who's really, really messed up in the head, I'm talking about they're so submissive where they're willing to give their mind, body, soul, spirit, have no identity for themselves, like they're just a shell of nothingness in their head, then they might do very well with that person. Why? Because that person is a really just a nobody, no life, no aspiration, no dreams. Just, I want to be with you. I just want to love. I just want you to abuse me, love me, hurt me, do anything to me. But that's not a great relationship,
Yeah. But I had an epiphany, and the last time he cussed me out, I just said, I'm done. And I knew that I was really done, because I said that 50 times before, but I knew it was true this time. I just, in my heart, I knew, I can't do this more.
Yeah.
This is evil, and I'm being abused on a daily basis,
Yeah. And sometimes you have to say enough is enough. I'm
You're
done.
really strong
Yeah.
for doing that.
I'm
You're really
done.
strong to knowing that, you know, you acknowledge that you're being abused and to walk away. You know how much strength that takes, you
Yeah.
know?
It was, yeah, it did take some strength, but it had to be done, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they leave you with no choice. You know, Norman,
Yeah.
And
you probably would have went there a couple of more times with her before that happens for you, because they don't just discard you once. It's a continuous cycle. It's discard, come back, discard, come back, discard, come back.
Yeah.
Not, some people might have a different experience where it's just a discard and that's it. But then if they come back, it's a telltale sign that there's something about you that's going to make them come back again. So, and I mean,
yeah,
and at some point when you get sick of that whole vicious cycle, you do say, I can't do this. It's me or you. They put you in a position where you have
yeah.
to walk away. You have no choice.
I
Yes.
started learning about narcissism and YouTube videos, and I said, "Oh my God, that's it."
Yep. Yep. Yep.
You too,
Exactly
Norman?
yeah. Yes. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It kind of became an OCD for me, just Googling narcissism every day.
I
Unfortunately,
mean,
for me, YouTube wasn't as popping of that back in the days. It was like almost 10 years ago. I had to really do some research. I had to step myself in the library and
yeah,
say, what was that going on? What's going on with this
yeah,
guy? You know?
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, it was a struggle, you know? It was a struggle. But I tell
definitely.
you what, listen, I'm not gonna keep y'all because this is coming to the end of our show. But listen, y'all come back because next week we're gonna go through every intricate of the narcissism and how it works. The
Yes.
intricate detail. The reason why we got to go through the intricate, because people don't even understand how narcissism work in a whole. Excuse me. They don't know how it work in a whole. So when you say narcissism, they're like, what is, okay, whatever. But when you break down their little ploys, their little
Yeah.
tactics,
That's what people
right?
don't understand. There's a spectrum with it, right? Everyone
Right.
has narcissistic
There's a
qualities, but
spectrum.
there's a there's a
Yeah.
there's a there's a full-on disorder with it as well. So next week
Right.
we could talk about the narcissistic family dynamic.
Oh,
You know?
absolutely. Norman, you gave me my show topic. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Let's do
Yeah.
it, because this is so important that we break down how they work in their mind, how the psyche work, and how it affects us people. People on the other end of that
They
spectrum.
just use people to
Yes.
control, to have power, to get
Yeah.
admiration and attention.
Just use and abuse. That's all they do. Use and abuse.
Yes.
You
I
know.
got
You
that
know,
from a
Ivy.
therapist.
You know, Ivy. How you hear this? You know how you hear Ivy? Oh, that woman there is just going to use and abuse you. That's
Mhm.
that. They're probably talking about narcissists. That's what narcissists do. Use and abuse. You know.
Absolutely. So people sometimes don't have a word for it. Not a lot of people.
Right.
This is not, this don't go as far back as you actually think. You know what I'm saying? So people are just learning narcissism and what it works. But then we're seeing it more and more now on social media, more than anything now.
Oh, yeah.
Because social media provides that platform for people. They can have these fake personas. They can have these fake personas online, and they can be totally, they can be grandiose when they're not. They can pretend like they have a lot of money when they don't. You understand? They can pretend like they're, they're sexy and they're
Oh,
alluring, and then it's like, look at me. So
They lie about everything. I remember my wife told me that she was born in a certain city, but really she was born in one of the poor towns.
See that?
Yeah.
And then when you think about
they
it, they
do
get all
lie
these,
all the time. Yeah.
they do. And I mean, when you think about all these fake personas online, and they love that admiration from people in a big crowd. That's their biggest narcissistic supply. When you think about it, it's the biggest supply to have love from a lot of people. They will prefer love from a lot of people than just one person or two people. If they can get a lot of people to love them, that's even more ideal. So this is why this is very important. Awareness have to be brought up, because just as fast as people are starting to see more and more narcissists, awareness have to be brought up even faster, because people are getting hurt more and more every single day and not knowing
What
what's
did you
happening.
call it before? Did you just call it toxic relationship or something like
I
that? Or
did.
you just didn't?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to call it abusive or whatever.
Yeah, because I started my coaching through toxic relationships. I was a relationship coach. So toxic relationships was my topic, but I thought I was in a toxic relationship. I had to do the research and find out that not only was I'm in a narcissistic.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, narcissism, NPD, is just it's a recent newly label they made. They haven't done much research on it. There's not much light. It's a new disorder that they discovered maybe like 50 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah,
Maybe
just
so.
that.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a personality disorder, though. I don't see it as a
Yeah.
mental illness. I see it as they choose to be that way, and it's a personality disorder, just like borderline
Yep.
or whatever else.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all have free will. So when you think about it, yes, they can practice free will because we all have that. Who is void of free will? No one is void of free will. So they can do what they can do it if they want to, but will
I
they?
know he could do it if he
Will
wanted to. I've seen him do it. He just don't want to, and I'm
Right.
out.
And when you think
It's all
about
a
that,
choice.
when you
Yeah.
think about this, when you think about that cold empathy, they actually do it. So what they do is they do show you that they can be normal people. They show you they can be genuine. They show you that they can be good-hearted, loving, love bombing, all the stages. They get out there. They go into the world. They have jobs. They be regular Joe Schmoes when you think about it, right? But then
And they don't act
don't.
like it in front of other people.
Yeah.
No, exactly. That's how you know it's a choice. The fact that they only treat you that way
There you
just
go.
shows.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's what's making me so hurt, because it's like they treat everybody else normal, and then they treat me like I'm a total piece of dog
That's
crap.
right.
You know.
I mean, the only other exception I would say would be a psychopath. When you think about that, that's a problem. That's a disease. You know why? Because they will hurt and maim people. They will hurt children, dogs,
That's like
things of that stuff, right?
killer.
Like that's a
Yeah.
problem. There's something going on up in there, right?
Ted Bundy and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So think about that. I mean, but otherwise, no, they can do it if they wanted to. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe that. And I
Mhm.
just find that would make me so angry. He intentionally would put me through this horrible stuff on
Mhm.
purpose. Makes me
Mhm.
so angry.
Yes, yes. But Maria, listen, I know, I hope you're dealing with that anger in you.
I am.
I want you
I'm
to
not
be
going
at peace. You know why I want you to be at peace is because the more you think about it and that anger spiral in you, you take a little bit of another day off your own life. It causes
Yeah.
it causes sickness. It causes
toxic to me.
your mind is part of your body and your body is part of your spirit. You start to get sick,
Yeah.
right?
Well, when I first left him, I was ruminating so bad I couldn't
Yeah.
hardly even do anything. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just couldn't stop my thoughts,
Yeah.
But thank God that's passed. Now I got to get through my angry phase.
Yeah. 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 And I'm saying, Norman, I'm guessing then you would still be in that phase with the ruminating, I'm guessing, because it's still fresh
Yeah,
and new for you.
still ruminating, but it does get better.
That's
Like
right.
when you start loving yourself, you realize, you still think about them every day, but something about you just gets up and you just got to move on. Life goes on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
You know,
does.
Yeah.
It does.
They told me when I was
part
ruminating,
of me.
change your thoughts and
Yeah.
force yourself. No matter if it takes 1,000 times a day, just keep doing that. And I did, and it
Yeah.
worked.
I've noticed what works. Just keeping yourself busy. You got to keep
Yeah.
busy.
You
You
do
know?
gotta
That
keep
too,
busy.
and I can't work right now, but I do keep busy.
Yeah.
I find all
Definitely.
kinds of stuff.
I mean, I believe I read a great book that got me through those very first stages. I believe it was called The Power of Now. And what that is, you think, when you think of you living your day in the moment that you're in, right? I tell people all the time, get this book, it changed my life. Live in the moment that you're in. Think of nothing else but the moment that you're in. If you're sitting down in a park looking at the trees, give gratitude to the trees, right? Give
Yes.
gratitude to the birds, the breeze. But
So
don't,
it's not the day, it's the moment.
it's the moment, right? So
I
when we
read that
take a
book
moment,
25 years ago. I don't remember.
yes. So
Yeah.
so the power of now is so, I tell you, it's a powerful tool because if you continue to give gratitude to the moment that you're in, every single moment you turn that moment into a moment before you know it, you could turn that day into another day, right? So it can expand.
That sounds nice.
Gratitude
Instead
to
of worrying about the future, worrying about the past,
That's
just
right.
enjoy what you're at right
Enjoy
now.
the moment. Keep bringing your thoughts to that moment because the brain is a powerful tool, powerful thing. It'll keep taking you back outside of yourself and ruminate again. But then look for something that brings you bring something attention to yourself, right? If you're feeling you ruminating, right, a distraction, look at something in the room and say, "Oh, I didn't realize that was there. Oh, I like that cup. That's one of my favorite cups. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill that cup up. Give me a nice cup of coffee. Make me a nice cup of tea, right? Continuously keep yourself in the moment.
Yes.
Right?
I think sometimes people got to get that stuff off their chest, though, too.
I know,
because they're just so ate up inside and they need to talk about it. That's why they're supposed to see a therapist, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
instead
because
of telling people to
if
go
we
to
take
hell
your
and
strategy,
stuff.
if we take your strategy, we'll all be cursing them narcissists out right now.
And be like, dude, you ain't killed yourself yet? What are you waiting for? I'm not kidding. Well, I'll think more clearly in a couple months, but yeah.
It takes time. It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time because I was telling this to a panel of another people where I visited another panel at one time. And my story was I would have preached on the top of the mountain about how much I hated him. Okay. I was
Yeah,
out for blood. Okay. I was
that's
out for
right.
blood. Okay. He this is how you're gonna treat me. Let me show you what I'm gonna do to you. Okay. I was so mad because I spent so many years invested in this, and this is how you hurt me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the anger is
They're
part of
pretty
the
evil
process.
though. They can mess up your car and all kind of stuff.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. So
even if you don't do anything.
there can be petty. The petty is like no other.
Oh
The
my God,
pain is
yeah.
like no other. They can go far with it. Okay. So protect yourselves. The best way to do is protect yourselves is to block them and leave them alone and don't pick up.
Yeah.
We got right. We become more and more vulnerable to their tactics every single time we let them back. And they can hurt us more, every single time. Every single time.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to be in fear anymore, and for any reason,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could stop, telling what a loser he is, because I mean, just you don't want to poke the bear or whatever.
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
Right.
You sure don't. And please don't, Maria, because you know what?
I
Eventually
don't think I'm going to do it ever again.
they poke back, but then see that they so sadistic, right? They're so sadistic.
Yeah.
It can be worse. You understand? It could be worse.
Yeah,
With how they get you.
they're much worse.
Yeah.
Oh, they're much worse.
I mean, Maria, I kept doing that. I kept, trying to send emails to her because she blocked me on everything. I kept sending her emails, but you know what? I thought to myself, what? She's not responding, and I'm just giving her supply. I'm just giving her more power.
Yeah.
Okay, so he does it too. We all do it. See, I did it too, Norman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's putting it on an email. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, she's reading them because I know she's reading them, but she's just ignoring them. So forget it.
Yeah, it's gonna take her time, but then eventually, all of a sudden, you're unblocked. Eventually, she calling you, she texting you. What are you doing? You got a girlfriend yet? That'll be probably her first sentence to you. You got a girlfriend yet? You married yet? I know you're a great guy, so you should be married by now.
And
honey,
you want to be friends? Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. So I'm going to end the night like this, people, because I got to go. I got a family to tend to too. So this is what I'm saying.
I mean, it's quarter to 3 here. I've got to cut this sleep.
It's a 2:45. But let me tell y'all something. Come back, because we're going to have more and more fun like this, right? The reason why I say we're going to have more and more fun like this is because we're going to really narrow this down. Okay.
Yes.
Strategy by strategy, method by method. We're gonna match their tactics, and we're gonna
next
talk
week.
about it.
I'll try to get some more viewers. Okay, I'll get all my whole family to lock in. Yes. Maria, have you guessed where I'm from my accent? Have you guessed where I'm from around the world or not?
Please do, because I mean, yeah, I'm seeing it's growing. I just gotta figure out how to fix, bring all of my followers from the Eventbrite, which was like 50 people who registered and they're not here. So I'm having tech issues. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, but when it gets fixed, it's going to be, it's going to be big. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about it. But I get a lot of love after the video goes out in the share. Everybody definitely sees it later and enjoy it, so that's the most important part of that. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to let y'all guys go, because listen, we got to keep on sharing. We got to keep on healing. Okay. Yeah. We got work to do. Right.
Absolutely. You're right. It's so nice to meet Norman and Ivy. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Maria. I felt so bad about last week. Keep coming back.
Ivy, keep us in your prayers. Make dua for us. Yeah.
You got it. All right. So y'all have a good night.
Next time. You
too. Next week. All right, y'all.
Next
have a good one.
Thursday. Okay. Good night.
Good night.